Hey kids, last week we learned who our enemy really is and the tricks he uses on us. Well, this week, let's find out how we can open doors to the enemy and what to do about it. Get ready. First, let's talk about how we open doors to the enemy.
Yeah, I don't ever open doors to the enemy. Why would anyone let the enemy in their house?
You do realize that the enemy we're talking about, the devil, doesn't just show up on our doorstep with red horns and all that, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I maybe, forgot that.
I'm also not talking about an actual door. I'm talking about a spiritual door, those that we can't see. So, how do we open doors to the enemy?
I don't know. You tell me.
Let's talk about Jonah, and I think you'll see.
You mean the whale guy?
Yep, that guy.
I know that story. Jonah heard God tell him to go to Nineveh, and he did not want to go.
So, he ran away.
As if you could really run away from God.
You want me to do what?
And that's what Jonah did. He ran from God because the people of Nineveh were evil, and he didn't want to tell them about the Lord.
Of course, you can't really run away from God, so, God found him.
On a boat, sailing away to a totally different city.
I'm just minding my own business here. I totally got away from God this time. Wait, what's that?
Suddenly, a storm pops up, and it's very dangerous with lots of wind and waves and rain.
Everyone, throw stuff overboard. We gotta lighten our load.
Uh-oh. This isn't looking good. I think this boat's gonna wreck.
You did this to us. You did it, didn't you? Confess!
I might kind of run from God because he told me to do something that I didn't want to do.
Well, now look what you done. Thanks to you, Serenity's gonna sink. It's up to you to make this better.
I know. Listen, throw me overboard and the storm will stop. I know it.
They did just that, and the storm stopped immediately. And then
He got swallowed up by a whale. That must have been, so gross. All slimy and blah.
can you even imagine? Anyway, inside the whale, he repented to God and asked his forgiveness, which of course God did, and had the whale bring him all the way to Nineveh.
And that is how you open the door to the enemy.
By being disobedient to God or your parents or your teachers.
Or by watching the wrong kind of stuff, like scary or inappropriate movies.
Or by playing with Ouija boards and video games that are filled with evil things.
Remember, kids, the Bible does say to be careful of what we watch and what we listen to.
The Bible also says we need to be careful who we hang out with because some friends can lead us down the wrong path.
Exactly. And the Bible also shows us how to keep the doors closed to the enemy.
It does?
Oh yeah, take Daniel for example.
Wait, what about Daniel? How could he close the door to the enemy?
Okay, remember in the book of Daniel, he and his friends were taken to Babylon and King Nebuchadnezzar.
King Neba who? Can we just call him King Neb?
Oh, why not? So King Neb took Daniel and his friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and made them work for him. But the food that King Neb ate wasn't allowed by God, so they didn't want to eat it, even though they were really hungry.
So what did they eat?
Just vegetables. And that worried the guards because he was afraid they would get sick and then he'd get in trouble.
But they didn't get sick because, of course, God isn't going to have you eat something that is bad for you. Anyway, then good old King Neb wanted them to worship a gold statue of himself.
If they didn't worship the gold statue, they could be killed. Killed! Did you hear that? Killed!
They were a bit extreme back in the day, I know. But they did not bow down to a stupid statue and worship it. And instead, they got thrown into a fiery furnace.
So, how is this exactly closing the door to the enemy?
Do you know what happened in the furnace?
I do. God sent an angel into the furnace, and not only did they not die, they didn't even smell like smoke.
And even King Neb started believing in God after that. So they were obedient in following God's instructions on food, and God protected them in the furnace.
And that is how you keep the door to the enemy closed. Keep it closed, kids. Keep it closed.